I'm Arlene, host of the television talk show Ask Arlene, which airs on Thursdays at 6:30. And as a business consultant and life coach, I help you to move forward in your business, project, or endeavor. So if you always wanted to write a book, but you just haven't seemed to get started, or you always wanted to 10x that business that you already have, expand it to the next level, you know exactly what you need to do, but you just haven't done it? Well, I've already purchased all the courses, read all the books, the Tony Robbins, all sorts. I have several degrees, including a master's degree and credits toward a doctorate. I've sat with and met celebrities and done the networking. And what I realized is what I really needed was a mastermind group of people working toward my project, my business, or my endeavor. So what I've done is met with coaches and met with experts and put them together to work on your project. So join us today for our mastermind networking group. I'll see you there. Click the link below and join us. Hello and welcome to the Ask Arlene Show. It's a pleasure to join you today. And so we're so excited because we have a special show and we are talking about something that is of the greatest importance. What is your true calling? Why are you here? What is your purpose? So you are here and existing after you were brought here after, 200 million sperm, they said, competed for this one sperm to connect and for you to be here. So we know that everybody has a calling. Everybody is called for greatness. You can go where you want to go. You can do what you want to do. You can be who you want to be. But really the goal is to be in alignment. Okay, so if I decided I wanted to be a champion NBA player, that probably would not be the highest and best use of my time and of my skill because I just don't have, Michael Jordan's skill. However, if you put me in the right space at the right time, doing what I'm supposed to do, then I'm going to flourish. So another example, fish. They say the fish are so just, useless. If you take the fish out of water, the fish will die because that's not really the best place for it to be. But once you drop that fish in water, that fish can swim and move around because that's the true place that the fish was meant to be. We are just like the fish, okay? So the goal in life is to find out what is your true calling? What is your true purpose? Now, can you function doing a multiplicity of things? Yeah, of course you can. And a lot of us are doing that. We're just functioning. We're just existing. We're getting up and we're going to work and we're coming home and we're taking care of our responsibilities, paying our bills. But is there more to life than just that? The answer is yes. And so today I'm going to share with you 5 quick tips, okay, within these 24 minutes, because that's probably all we have left, about how you can know your true calling and know if you're in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing. Okay, so step number 1. Let's see it. In knowing your true calling, is it just a feeling? Well, first of all, it's not a feeling. It's not just, oh, I feel happy, I feel sad, I feel joyful, because at any given time, our emotions can deceive us. Like the little kid who says, well, I feel like, killing my brother because he, messed up my shirt. I mean, there's so many feelings, there's so many emotions that come up and that are around us, but sometimes our emotions are fickle. You don't always feel like going to work, but you go to work because you have your responsibility. So a lot of people say, oh, knowing your true calling, it's a feeling. Oh, I feel joy, I feel happy. Well, what if you don't feel happy that day? What if that day you have responsibilities and you have to fulfill this calling, but you don't feel like it? Does that mean that you just don't do it? No, actually, I'm going to give you the real secret, Okay, and I'm probably going to go out of order here and drive my team crazy. But the real secret in knowing what your true calling is that it is a knowing. Okay, the answer is that it's a knowing. It's not a feeling. So feelings go up and feelings go down. But when you know what you know, it's a consistent, steady stream. Okay, so that leads us to, well, how do we know? Well, one of the secrets too is that it's something that you've always known about. It's something that you've always experienced or you've always thought about. The true calling is not something that you just got up yesterday, you saw somebody on TV and they were doing what I'm doing. They were speaking, hosting a show, and you're like, oh, I like that. I think I'm going to host a show. No, chances are it's something that you've always wanted to do. You've always dreamed of doing, but perhaps you thought you were too young at the time, or you weren't old enough, or you didn't have enough information about how to do this particular thing. But it's just been playing like a tape in the back of your mind. Well, that's usually a sign that this is something you're called to do. And everybody has a calling. Everybody has a purpose, a reason for which you're here. The Japanese call it the ikigai, the reason for being. Okay. And so we said it's something that you've always known. So I'll give you an example. My grandmother was never taught to play the piano. She grew up in a time where people didn't send their kids to music school. So we had a piano in our home, and she would get on the piano and she would just play. And what she came up with sounded so beautiful. It sounded so rich. Nobody would believe that she'd never taken a piano lesson and that nobody taught her how to play. But in her heart, she just had a drive toward playing the piano. So I truly believe that she had a gift for playing the piano, and that probably was her true calling, music, because she loved music and she would just stop and listen to other people and celebrate. And she's the kind of person who would go to Carnegie Hall and support, but she never took a lesson. So she never actualized her dream. She never actualized her true calling. So why are we doing the show today in this 20 minutes? Because the idea is the purpose of life and the purpose of your time here is to find that knowing, to find that ikigai and operate in that ikigai. Okay. And let's say you're sitting here watching, you're saying, well, I don't know what it is. I don't know my true calling. Well, that's what we're supposed to use our time to do, to find out what it is and then to self-actualize. So all of the people that we look at, another secret is to look at who you admire. Who is it that you admire? Who are your heroes and your sheroes? That's usually a secret to determining what your true calling is. So the people that you look at and that you're inspired by and that you're motivated by and that you are just moved by, one of the reasons why you're so moved by them is because they're operating in their true calling. They're operating in their ikigai, and that's why they're so good and great and fascinating at what they're doing. So as a result, it's important for us to investigate, why are we so excited about those people? What is it about what they're doing that we like? Is it just that we like them because they're so good at what they're doing? Or is it that we love them because internally we know that they're self-actualizing, and we should be self-actualizing as well? So ask yourself the question, are you self-actualizing? Are you doing and operating in your highest and best good? Okay, if tomorrow you had to write down your vision for your life, would what you're doing now be a part of that vision? Okay, so that's another secret while we're going through this journey. Write down, and this is not in the text, but write down your story. Okay, so if tomorrow you were supposed to go and you were no longer here, what would you want them to say about you? What would you want them to say that you did? And what would you want them to say you accomplished in your time here? That's also a secret, or a secret way of finding out and figuring out your story. Right. Because you have a knowing, you already know. So as you sit down and you write down your time here and your story, chances are it's in your story. So let me give you a quick example. So I was the type of person that I constantly got recruited for jobs. And I went to school, I have several degrees, but I would constantly get recruited for positions. And at one point, I stopped allowing people to recruit me for positions because I was told, well, you've had too many jobs. So even though I was being called on these positions and I was getting a $10,000 raise or a $15,000 raise each time I went up the ladder, for me, as far as what I could see, there was not a consistent thread. However, when I got into politics and I looked back, I said, wow, this is amazing. My teaching was relevant. This is amazing. My social services, the fact that I worked as a social service person was relevant. The fact that I directed at a medical facility, it was relevant. All of those things came into play when I moved forward and got into this government position where I worked with a multiplicity of people, with a multiplicity of backgrounds, and I had to be able to share insight and information from these different genres and these different places that I had been. But if I hadn't gone to those places, I wouldn't have been able to share the information and help in the capacity that I was working in. So back to the story. Write your story, and don't worry that the opportunities that come to you sometimes may seem like they're not in line with the vision, okay? Because there's not a straight thread. So remember, they say if an airplane goes from New York to California, 90% of the time, okay, it's going to be off track. But as it goes up and it goes down, it's still on course to getting to where it needs to be. And so your ikigai, your true purpose, your true calling is going to get you to where you were meant to be and where you were born to be. But it's not necessarily always a straight route. It's not always necessarily a straight line. But the goal is to make sure and maintain this concept that you're getting there, you're going there, okay, and have that vision and have that goal and have that knowing that this is where you're going, and not to get distracted along the way by the things on the side of the road that have nothing to do with your true vision and your true calling. Okay, so we have a little clip that I'd like to play for you, and it's just to motivate you. It's about going where you want to go, doing what you want to do, being who you want to be, and making sure that you're joyful while you're taking this journey. Because if you're joyful, you're going to have energy to move forward. And if you're in line with your purpose and your calling, you're going to have more energy, okay, and strength to fulfill all the things that you need to. And you'll find that that's also one of the secrets, that your vision and your true calling gives you energy. So when I get up and I talk on a show, or I get on a stage and I talk, I feel energized. I feel like, wow, I can now climb Mount Everest. But then sometimes I'm doing something else, like, writing bills or doing something that I really don't enjoy doing. It sucks my energy. All right. So it's not just a happy, sad, but it's really a knowing and an energy. All right. So let's go to our clip. Let's see what
I've decided that I'm a good person and that I deserve good things to happen to me. And therefore, I've decided that I'm going to pamper myself as much as possible. I'm going to look for as much fun. I'm going to look for as much fulfillment. I'm going to look for as much ease. I'm going to follow my ease. I'm going to follow my bliss. I'm going to follow my flow. I'm going to follow the good feeling. I'm going to I've decided that I'm a good person and that I deserve good things to happen to me. And therefore, I've decided that I'm going to pamper myself as much as possible. I'm going to look for as much fun. I'm going to look for as much fulfillment. I'm going to look for as much ease. I'm going to follow my ease. I'm going to follow my bliss. I'm going to follow my flow. I'm going to follow the good feeling. I'm going to
Okay, so you're going to follow your flow. You're going to follow your ease. You're going to follow what gives you energy. So I talked about your heroes and your sheroes. Who are the people that you admire? So when I was on this journey, people would say, well, who do you admire? One of the people that I admire greatly is Hillary Clinton. And they say, well, why do you admire her? She lost the election. It's not so much for her politics, but I admire the fact that she was a woman who was a business owner. Okay, she operated in her business, and she also took care of her family. She was a wife, she was a mother, and those are the things that caused me to admire her, because she was able to handle all of the pieces of that puzzle. And for the people who are moms and they have jobs and they have families and they have houses and they have land and they have businesses, you understand that there's quite a lot involved there. And so I admired the fact that she was able to juggle that. And even when her difficulties were on the front page of the newspaper, she still seemed to be able to maintain not only her family, but she also seemed to maintain her business. So that's one of the people that I admired. And those are some of the reasons why I admired her. So who are some of the people that you admire? Because your secret to your ikigai, or your secret to your reason for being, also may lie in the people that you're looking at, the people that you're admiring. There's a reason why you're admiring them. And now this one may sound a little bit surprising, but who are you jealous of? Who are the people that you are spending your time feeling jealous of? Now, that emotion of jealousy can only rise up because they're doing something that you would like to be doing. Now, does it mean that it's in every single situation or in every single case that you're actually doing something that they're doing something that you want to do? Well, not necessarily. However, it's a possibility. That may be a secret. That may be something that you're inclined to want to do. And this is another key. Many people lose their true calling or miss their true calling because they say, well, it's not something that I'm good at. It doesn't have to be something that you're good at. It just has to be something that you truly have a desire to do and a knowing to do and a drive to do. Because when the rubber hits the road and you have challenges on the left or the right, if it's something that you truly are called to do and you truly want to do, you're going to stay the course. So back to my grandmother and her piano playing. Like I said, she never took a lesson. So she wasn't the best piano player, but she was driven. It's something that she wanted to do. So I'll give you another example. I was a social service worker, and I had to do truancy prevention. And my job was to prevent these kids who weren't going to school from not going to school and force them to go to school. Now that job drained me. It drained my energy. I had to go into people's homes, look in their pantries, ask them a whole lot of introspective questions about their personal life. They didn't want me there, and I really didn't want to be there either. Okay. And it was pretty much a bad situation. But was I doing something purposeful? Yes, I was helping kids to go to school that weren't going to school. In one of the situations, I had to go into a lady's home, and she was obviously depressed, okay? And her home was in complete disarray, which is why this kid was not going to school. I mean, I could tell you guys there were bugs crawling on the walls in such a way that I thought the walls were painted black. It was a terrible scene. It was like something out of a terrible movie. And this young lady, the kid, wasn't going to school. Of course she wasn't going to school because she was in a traumatic situation. And so I had to, get them help and, seek information to see how they could fix the situation. And then in turn, the young lady would continue going to school. But why am I bringing this up? Okay, she was in the situation, the mom, but she didn't realize how terrible it was. Okay, so was that her true calling? Was she in the place that she needed to be? No. But was she happy? Was she sad? What were her emotions? Her emotions were telling her that this was the consistent place and the consistent way to live. But were her emotions correct? No, her emotions were lying to her. That's not the way she needed to live. That's not the way she was called to be or called to live. But that's the way, the situation she was in. And because she was consistently in it, it was tricking her brain into believing that this is the way that she was supposed to live. Is that what's happening to some of us? We've just been doing it so long. We've been going to that job so long, working in that capacity for such a long period of time that now we think that that's where we're supposed to be. And we're way off course. Okay? But I'm here to tell you today that we can course correct. So you just saw that video about living your best life and about doing the things that you're called to do. Well, we're all here for a finite period of time. So course correct, okay? So like I said, the plane going from New York to California, it's off course much of the time, but it can course correct and come back and continue the journey so that it ends up at the right place. All right, so another one of the secrets, another one of the things, we said you're gonna write your story, okay? Write about what you're going to have people read at the end of your life. Okay, what did they say about you? What were some of the things you accomplished? What were some of the things that you did? Because that's going to give you insight as to what you truly know you're supposed to be doing or what you truly want to reflect. All right. And then we said also, who are your heroes and sheroes and who are you jealous of? Okay. And also another thing is to develop a vision statement. If you have not already done so, what is your vision for your life? Do we have a vision statement? If you don't have a vision statement, stop the video and begin to write your vision statement. Write who you are. What are your goals? What are your visions? Because your true vision is what's going to impact what you do in life. Okay. And some of us have had a lot of trauma. Some of us have had, challenging upbringing, or there's something that you had to overcome to get where you are now. And so you have a book in you. You have a life course in you. You have something in you that needs to get out, and you've known it for a long time, but you haven't begun to do it. I'm giving you permission today and saying, get on the journey. Okay. Course correct. Get started. This is not the dress rehearsal. This is it. Okay. This is it. This is not a dress rehearsal. This is all there is. So we need to begin working on that journey to self-actualizing and to realizing those true goals. So manifesting, I'm always talking about manifesting. And some people are not achieving their goals or operating in their ikigai because they feel like it's something that's so far off, it's something so big that they are not able to realize it. Well, another secret is it is something big. If it's something that you can just do by yourself tomorrow, get out there and do it, that's not the true calling. That's not the ikigai. It's something that you need to work on or work at. It's something that you need to press forward toward, okay? Everybody that you look at that's achieved something that's great has had to press, okay? Look at Martin Luther King. He gave his life for his dream. He said, I have a dream that one day, and I'm not gonna go into it, but everybody knows that these people that we look at as great, as having achieved something amazing, are people who have had to go through a struggle. You know, you look at the NBA player, Michael Jordan, and he says he was cut from the basketball team when he was in high school. Okay. And so he pressed because he didn't want to be cut. He was running so that he could be his highest and best self, have and achieve his true goals. So some of you are retired and you're like, well, I'm too old. No, you're not. No, you're not. If you're here, that means that you still have time in order to accomplish the goal or the vision or the purpose. All right. So we're going to go to our break. But when we come back, I'm going to give you the last few secrets to finding out and achieving your true goal and your true calling.
Which airs on Thursdays at 6:30. And I'm here to tell you 2 reasons why you should join our Speakers Bureau training and how to become a world-class speaker. 1, revenue generation. People who know how to communicate well earn more dollars and cents. And 2, if you have a day job, you're not a speaker, teacher, author, trainer, you're going to gain promotion on your job if you're better able to communicate with confidence in those board meetings. Now, you say, why should I join your group, Arlene? There are so many programs out there. Well, I'm guaranteeing you an interview on television or radio if you complete our 10 sessions of our Speakers Bureau training. So I have a plethora of friends that do the same types of things that I do. And so we're guaranteeing you an interview on either television or radio. And you say, well, why else, Arlene? Why else should I join? Well, if you join our Speakers Bureau, after having taken the 10-session training, I am going to help you along with our team to launch that speaking career that you always envisioned so that you can use your message to change the world. So there's so many programs out there and they tell you how to be a speaker, but I'm going to actually help you to get booked on paid speaking engagements, on television and on radio if you complete all 10 sessions and you join our Speakers Bureau. I hope to see you there and see you using your dream, your vision, and your talent to change the world. Bye-bye. See you there.
Hi. So I only have a few minutes left. I just want to share with you the last 2 things. One is to find a supportive community. Okay. So many of us miss our calling and miss our true purpose for being because we don't have a supportive community. So you have always wanted to be a teacher, but you find that you're able to find more financial remuneration in the stock market. And so you're a financial planner, okay? Or you're dealing in investments, but that's not really what your true calling is. You really want to be a teacher, but you don't have a supportive community because mommy and daddy always told you that this is what you needed to do because this is what your uncle did, this is what your cousin did, and this is what you've always wanted to do. Well, that's how a supportive community comes into play. Find people that are doing the things that you want to do, whether it be an organization or it just be, 1 or 2 friends that you go and you hang out with that are actually in line with the area that you truly want to be a part of. And that's one of the secrets. If you listen to the story, not Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson tells us, okay, one of the greatest NBA players of all times. He was a great NBA player, but you know what his true calling was, his true heart? He wanted to be a business owner. And that's why he is one of the most successful business owners that we have today. And he started later on in life. That was his retirement job. But he tells the story that who was his community? Who was his supportive community? Actually, he wasn't hanging out with Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan and all of these other athletes. He said he was actually hanging out with the business owners, the owners of the teams. Because those are the people that he truly admired. Those are the people that he truly wanted to emulate. So did he have a gift for basketball? Yes, amazing. He had that drive. And I'm sure that those same tools and techniques that were a part of his true calling, his ikigai, that make him an awesome business owner, are also the same tools that he used to become an excellent basketball player. Not to mention, his physical size. But those are the same. He'll tell you in his story that he used his community to support him in terms of him starting his business. So one of the reasons why he's so successful is that he was a maverick. He put Starbucks into communities that people didn't think Starbucks would be successful in. So he put them in urban communities. He started putting his movie theaters in urban communities that people really didn't think would be successful. So if people are already in urban communities or it's a more depressed community, why would people pay $5 for a cup of coffee when they could pay $1.50? But Magic Johnson, being the business genius that he was, he did something that was completely off the cuff. And that's why his Starbucks was actually one of the most successful franchises than any other. So whatever it is that's your true calling, you're going to look for the community. Okay, find the supportive community of people that are going to help you to cultivate those skills that you need and develop those skills that you need in that particular area. And the last one is, this is so important in terms of finding your supportive community and actualizing your goals. The last thing is that your goals will determine, your purpose will determine your goals. So purpose before goals. Okay, if you know where you're going and you know your true calling, then that's going to determine your goals. You're going to have to make a shift and course correct in terms of how you're conducting your life, where you're spending your time, where you're going, who you're talking to, who you're seeing. So in the last second, I just want to share with you one of my clients and one of her success stories. So I had a client and she had a day job, but she knew she wanted to start a business. And one of the key things that she kept saying was, I don't have time. I don't have time to invest in this business. So the idea was, as long as she continued going on that journey of working her 9-to-5 job, and actually her job turned out to be more like a 12 hour per day job. It wasn't really 9-to-5. She wasn't ever going to have time. Okay. But once she shifted and decided that this was her true purpose, having this business, then she was able to find time to accomplish the essential goals that were required in order for her to be a successful business owner. And today she's a successful business owner, okay, making millions in her business through her government contracts. And so we're just so excited for you, because today I'm challenging you to find your true goal, to find your true calling, to find your ikigai. Thank you so much for spending these 29 minutes with me. And call me, contact me, or join our mastermind group so that we can help you to figure out what that true calling or true goal is. You can go on to www.askarleneshow.com after the show and join our mastermind group today live, and we'll help you to figure out where you need to be in order to accomplish the goals and dreams that you have for your life. See you there. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Name some things I'll be without you, good. Stop the growth, I bet you think you could. Said you gon' leave me, man, I wish you would. Yeah, I'm different, so I'm misunderstood. So I'ma always be good. Said I'ma always be good.